Okay, hello and welcome to our virtual Welcome to Cal State Fullerton Day. We're very glad that you've decided to take the time to join us here online. We had a wonderful event virtually this weekend as well, and this is sort of part two of that, although it is a repetition of the event we held. So if you're joining us for the first time, you will still get all of the information we have. My name is Dr. Dustin Barr. I'm the Director of Wind Studies here at Cal State Fullerton, and we are joined today by a wonderful panel here, largely to answer your questions. We have a little bit of an agenda that we will walk through, but the bulk of the session today will be to take your questions and provide you as much information we can about coming to major in music at Cal State Fullerton, whether you be a freshman or a transfer student or even a grad student. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my panelists here today to just introduce themselves one by one. So panelists, please take it away.
So should I start?
Sure.
Okay. I'm Dr. Katherine Powers, and I'm the director of the School of Music. And it was such a great privilege to work with all my colleagues and to see everyone here, and looking forward to getting to meet you, participants, and all the new students in fall.
I am Kimo Furumoto. I know it says James. Kimo is James in Hawaiian. So that's where that comes from. Anyway, I am the orchestra director here at Cal State Fullerton. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Bongshin, professor of cello and assistant director of School of Music. Welcome, everybody. If you have decided to come to Cal State Fullerton in the fall, you made the best decision. And if you haven't decided, what are you waiting for? Okay, welcome.
I'm
Dr. Baker.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Baker. I'm the one who sent you all those emails, and I am a human being. I am not a robot, and I just want to welcome you all. And I'm here to answer any of the sort of the business questions that you might have. I'm also on music history faculty here as well. Dr. Barr.
Okay, we're delighted to also introduce you to a brand new faculty member who will be joining us in the fall. We're very excited about him joining our faculty, and please, I'll turn it over to Professor Sycil Mathai.
Hi, everybody. It's a delight to be with you all here tonight. I'm zooming in from Des Moines, Iowa, where my wife lives, and I can't wait to get to Fullerton to join the faculty and the students, and let's have a good time here tonight.
Terrific, thank you, Professor Mathai. We also have 3 students joining us today on our panel to provide you their perspective as current students within the School of Music. So if I can have you introduce yourselves, we'll start with Anthony.
Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Alkane. I am a sophomore flute performance major at CSUF, and I am also the School of Music student recruitment assistant. So you'll get a few emails from me and from Dr. Baker.
Thank you, Anthony. And from our string area, we have Ben Hur.
And will I be also discussing my experiences here?
Just introduce yourself for now. We'll have you discuss your experiences in a little bit. Thank you.
So again, I'm Benjamin Hur. I am a cello performance major here at Cal State Fullerton, and I'm currently attending my freshman year.
Thank you. And finally, we have Simon Morris.
Hi, everybody. I'm one of the horn players here at Cal State Fullerton. I'm involved with the Wind Symphony, the Symphony Orchestra, the Brass Ensemble, and the Horn Ensemble, and I transferred from RCC. I'm just about to finish my second year at Cal State Fullerton.
And thank you, Simon. We also have Michael August, a staff member in the School of Music here with us today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. And also, Mike, if you have anything to add to our attendees about how to participate in this session, please do so at this time.
Hello, I'm Mike August, production manager for the School of Music. If you're watching on Facebook, just type in any questions or comments you have, and I'll pass them along to the we'll get them on to the panelists. If you're in Zoom, use the Q&A section and we'll answer your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Well, once again, we are so happy that you've decided to join us during this hour. And one of the things, among the many things that are going to be of paramount importance to your education at Cal State Fullerton, first and foremost are going to be your experience with your studio faculty, your applied faculty teachers on your instrument. And you can find out who they are by visiting our website if you don't know already. I highly recommend that if you haven't reached out to them and had a conversation via email, you do that immediately. Get to know them ahead of time. They're all wonderful people and absolutely phenomenal musicians and teachers. Another thing that is going to be really crucial to your development as a musician is your participation in our ensembles. And at Cal State Fullerton, we have ensembles to fill every need, from our 3 concert bands, to our wonderful orchestra, to our jazz ensembles, to our chamber ensembles of every kind, to our new music ensemble. We have more than enough ensembles to keep you busy and making plenty of music. We wanted to take today to talk to you a little bit about those ensembles and share with you some clips of those ensembles performing so that you could get a glimpse of the quality of our student musicians and ensembles here at Cal State Fullerton. As the director of bands here, I direct the Wind Symphony, the Symphonic Winds, and the University Band. It's a phenomenal program, and I could go on and on about the awards and accolades of the program, but I think the most significant thing I could share with you today is a recent sort of award of the program. It was a prestigious invitation to play at the 2019 conference, National Conference of the Collegiate Band Directors National Association. This invitation, we were on one of 8 ensembles across the nation and Canada to be selected to perform at this event by a jury of conductors from around the country. It is probably the most prestigious invitation that an ensemble of the Wind Symphony's type could be invited to. So it's quite the feather in our cap. It is something that I'm very proud of, and I'm so incredibly proud of the work, the hard work and dedication of our students that it took to get to that event. We played there in February of 2019, and it's just really a highlight of the program in recent years. I could go on and on, as I said, about the abilities of all of our bands, but I think the best thing to do to show you the quality is to actually play a clip. And the clip that you're going to see is from our most recent concert. So I have not gone through all of our clips and pulled out the absolute best thing. I've pulled out the most recent thing. I want you to get a glimpse of what the ensemble sounds like now. So the clip is of William Bolcom's Symphony for Band. William Bolcom is a Pulitzer Prize winning composer, and he wrote an incredible symphony. We're going to show you a live clip that has been edited only to put together little excerpts from various movements. Other than that, the sounds that you're hearing are the exact sounds that came off the stage. So without further ado, this is the Cal State Fullerton Wind Symphony playing excerpts from William Bolcom's Symphony for Band. Give me a moment here while I share my screen with you all. Okay. An ending worthy of Leonard Bernstein. Anyway, thank you so much for listening along. By the way, I will point out that sharing our screen and our audio here on this interface can sometimes result in some blurry visuals on your end, or maybe the sound that's not quite as good of quality as we would hope. So we invite you all to go to our YouTube page, the School of Music YouTube page, where you can find multiple recordings and videos of all our ensembles there. I'm now going to turn it over to my colleague in the orchestral area, Professor Kimo Furumoto, to talk a little bit about the orchestra.
Welcome, everybody. And yes, from the orchestra standpoint, of course, I wanted to welcome all of you and let you know that, of course, the orchestra invites all instrumental players, woodwind, brass, and percussion, to perform with the orchestra as well. We have a series of auditions at the very beginning of the fall semester, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But I did wanted to spotlight a few things that we do over the year. So every year we've been invited to perform at a professional venue, the Cerritos Performing Arts Center, for the past 6 years now, with our guest conductor, Rob Capello. Wonderful event. And then we also host the winner, grand prize winner of our annual concerto competition. And that was our most recent concert, actually, in March. Then every year we host in residency the wonderful internationally renowned Talich String Quartet. They spend an entire week with us. They give master classes, and at the end of the week they give their own concert as well as perform with the orchestra, and that's always a big highlight for us. So what I wanted to do now was also share my screen, and actually a short clip. It's about 10 minutes, but I'll probably just cut that off a little bit, or I'll skip around so you get a little bit of the taste of it. This is our winner of our concerto competition, clarinet player, wonderful clarinet player, graduate student Spencer Danielson, and he's performing the Artie Shaw clarinet concerto with the orchestra. So just give me a minute and I'll put that up for you. Sorry. Skipping ahead. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, if I can jump back in here.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. You have to get it on YouTube.
Well, once again, we invite you all to visit the Cal State Fullerton School of Music YouTube webpage, channel, I guess. You can also like us on Facebook. You can find us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter. There's a lot of footage up there of
Sorry.
And I think we've shared the YouTube site in our chat. So hopefully you can pick that up from there. If not, you can go to YouTube and just search Cal State Fullerton School of Music, and it should come up rather quickly. So again, we have footage up there, more footage of the orchestra playing. We have more footage of the wind bands performing. We have footage of our jazz ensemble, some chamber music. Please go check it out and enjoy. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to the students that we've invited here today, the current students, to talk to you a little bit about their experiences at the Cal State Fullerton School of Music. I'll have them introduce themselves again, and if you could share just a little bit about your experiences, and also if you wouldn't mind sharing what for you was the determining factor in deciding to attend the Cal State Fullerton School of Music. So once again, we'll start with Anthony.
Again, my name is Anthony Alkane. I am a sophomore flute performance major here at Cal State Fullerton, and I am the undergraduate student recruitment assistant. One of the main factors that contributed to me deciding ultimately to go here to study was the caliber and the rigor that the faculty have here and they expect of their students here. My flute professor, Jean Ferrandis, he came all the way from Paris just to teach here because he saw the energy, he saw the drive that everyone had here, and he wanted to bestow upon the students in California and in the United States the French school and the French way of flute playing upon all his students. And I also knew that I wanted to get a university education, specifically a liberal arts university education, because I wanted to expand my horizons beyond music, just in case it doesn't work out in the end, because in this university, you have to take all your general education classes, and we also have a conservatory-like curriculum in the School of Music. You have to take chamber, you have to take your lessons, 2 recitals, if you're a performance major, and theory, history, all of that, and you get a university-level education at the same time. So yeah.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Anthony. And we'll turn it over to Ben.
Okay, hi. Again, my name is Benjamin Her. Again, I'm a cello performance major here, currently attending my freshman year. Entering as a freshman, I was very excited because I had known that the music department here was very prestigious, and I had no doubt that I was going to succeed for as long as I work hard. But what I didn't know was how much I was going to grow in terms of improving my technical skills on my instrument and expanding my knowledge on music in general, just by receiving education here at CSUF. And being in the symphony orchestra, you really are given the opportunity to play music that is at the highest level. And being a freshman, it was definitely a lot to take in, but the fact that it was so tough shows that this ensemble is really pushing and really guiding me to be the best musician that I aspire to be. And all the faculty and staff here are amazing. I think one of the best things about them is as well is how nice and welcoming they are. You really get the best of both worlds of having such a sociable and professional relationship with them. And I think it creates a much greater learning environment that way, especially with the one-on-one lessons. And part of the reason why my freshman year was a bit more easy to get through was because of the professors, because of how they helped create a path that lessen hindrances and make it more focused on the improvement of the students. And I'd say my determining factor for being here was being a musician. I did not want to be just someone who can simply just play the best. I also wanted to be a musician who can make some impact in the world. And I've seen one of the best person I know who graduated from CSUF do that and impacted me. And after having a lesson from my professor here before CSUF, I was even more reassured that I can do that here. So I knew that CSUF was the best option for me. And so far I can say that my time here is definitely pushed me many steps closer to that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben. We really appreciate your comments. And finally, our last student representative here today is Simon Morris. And as Simon mentioned when he introduced himself, he came as a transfer student. So he may have a unique perspective for those of you who are coming from our junior colleges. Simon.
Hi, everybody. So yeah, I did come from a junior college. I'm from RCC in Riverside. While I was there, I was under the instruction of a bunch of really great educators and just great people, and they were CSUF grads. So this school was on the map for me pretty much as soon as I started going to school there. And I think the determining factor for me coming here, in addition to what others before have mentioned, of course, the faculty is great. The instruction that you get is really quality, but when you look at in terms of the investment financially that you're making to come to school at CSUF, and you weigh that with the value of the education that you get and the quality of the education that you get, you look at people that are music education majors and the rates at which they're getting work once they graduate, it's phenomenal. It's really a value that cannot be matched by any other school that I'm aware of. So that was pretty much the big determining factor. But I was also pleasantly surprised to find out that it's a really competitive community for sure, but to counter that competitive end, it's also really welcoming. It's a place where you can be comfortable and you can grow. It's a healthy competition, and I think the camaraderie and the companionship that I feel from the faculty with whom I have I feel good relationships with, but also my peers. Just coming into the school and sitting down at the lounge on the second floor, you'll make friends that people that you've never met. You can talk to them for the first time and talk to them every day since then. I definitely have made a good amount of friends that way. I think that the community has, it was something I never expected to find here at Fullerton, but it has certainly been an asset, and I really cherish it.
Thank you, Simon. And once again, thank you to all three of our student representatives here today, Anthony, Ben, and Simon. They're going to be sticking around because as of now, we're going to transition to a sort of an open Q&A format. So we've seen a few questions come in via the Q&A app here on Zoom, and there may be more coming in on Facebook Live. Please, whatever platform you're using to watch this today, do send us your questions. We'd be happy to answer all of them. While we are waiting for a few more questions to come our way, though, we do have a interesting opportunity here today. We've heard from some students about why they've decided to come to Cal State Fullerton initially, but we have, as I said, and as we introduced, we have a new faculty member joining us in the fall, Professor Mathai, who will be our professor of trumpet and the head of the brass area. And whenever we interview for a position, we have a national and international search, and we're obviously looking for the absolute right candidate, which we believe we found. But they are also interviewing us and determining why it is they would want to come to Cal State Fullerton. So I'd like to turn it over to Professor Mathai and let him to speak just a little bit about what attracted him to our university.
Thank you, Dustin, and thank you everybody who's attending here tonight. I don't know where to begin in some ways because you know, I've been able to do a lot of great things in my career, but I really feel like for the first time in my life, I'm really headed to a school of music where I will really feel fulfilled artistically, musically, educationally, professionally. When I interviewed on the campus of Fullerton, I had the chance to meet the faculty. I mean, you know, if you're a prospective student and you read the biographies of all the faculty, you will find an illustrious group of musicians and educators who have achieved success on an international level. And that's important to have, but at the same time, when I met the students on the campus, I was really, really overjoyed to find how they really sincerely were enjoying their time on campus. They were around their friends, the way they interacted with their friends, the way they interacted with the faculty. I could tell that the School of Music is this living, breathing, buzzing place where great things happen. And as Simon mentioned, you know, where students go on to do great things. You will see in the faculty and in the School of Music and a literally international group of friends and musicians, people who come from all sorts of walks of life. And it's, for me, it was a no-brainer to accept the invitation to teach at Fullerton. I greatly look forward to working, and I feel just you know, so lucky to have this opportunity to join the team at Fullerton. If you are a prospective student on the fence, I really encourage you to take to heart what the faculty and the students are saying here tonight. CSU Fullerton is a unique place, and I believe to be a prototype for the School of Music's at large in the future. It's a great place where great things are happening currently and will continue to happen.
Thank you so much, Professor Mathai. We are so looking forward to having you on our faculty. So please, from our attendees here today, please keep your questions coming in. And in the meantime, while they are coming in, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Baker, who again serves as our prospective new student coordinator. And I'm going to ask her to just talk through some answers to the most common questions she receives. So please, Dr. Baker.
First of all, thank you all so much for being here. The first thing I'm actually going to go through a little business first is deadlines. The first thing that you need to do is on May 1st, you have to make sure several things have happened if they or happen by that day. The first thing is you need to tell your area coordinator that you're coming. So for example, if you worked with the winds, it would be Professor Rosengren, or you would call whoever, if you're brass or saxophone or percussion, you contact Dr. Barr and so forth and so on. Whoever's been sending you the emails besides me is the person you should be contacting. And that's the first thing. You say, I'm coming, hooray. If you were lucky enough to get a scholarship offer, you also need to accept it by that day. The second thing is, remember, it's a two-step process getting into Cal State Fullerton. In addition to telling us that you want to come here in the School of Music, you also need to tell the university. And that's a big one. You have to say that you're coming. You have to tell admissions that you're coming. Answer that email they sent you. The second thing is you need to pay your enrollment fee or your deposit. And the third thing is that you have to sign up for orientation, which this year will be online. So, those are the three things you need to do on May 1st, or four things. Tell us you're coming, tell the university you're coming, pay your deposit, and sign up for orientation. And you must do it. Orientation is extremely important. Then on July 15th, and that's another red letter day, you need to get all of your transcripts sent over to us. Whether you are an incoming freshman or a transfer, all of your transcripts must be up to date and at admissions by that time. I'm going to anticipate a couple of questions, and then I might turn this over for just a moment to Anthony Alkane, who can also answer your student-to-student questions. You can get the real scoop from him. One of the things that people have been asking me a lot is, why does it says that I'm a BA pre-music. What does all that mean? That means that's the sort of the temporary, that's a transitional thing. Don't worry about it. Once your name is sent over by us to admissions, it'll all be taken care of. And of course, once you're here, we send you into the degree ultimately that you want to be in. Remember that our our music education degree is a BA. But one thing I want to say about all of these different degrees is that whether you're Bachelor of Music or Bachelor of Arts, there is no such thing here as a first and second class citizen. Everybody is held to the same standards, regardless of the instrument you play and regardless of the ultimate place that you want to be. And that's one of the reasons why Cal State Fullerton has such a high acceptance rate at graduate schools, and also why we have a 100% employment rate when it comes to our teachers, because everybody knows, all of the school districts around California and beyond know that a kid here, a graduate from Cal State Fullerton, if you're under 40, you're a kid. No, any graduate of Cal State Fullerton is very, very well prepared. And I also have to mention one other thing. When you get your credential through Cal State Fullerton as well, you get those 30 units that actually puts you on a slightly accelerated track in terms of salary. So not only are you almost virtually guaranteed a job, you're also, once you pass through the credential program, slightly ahead in terms of getting your salary. So you're sort of, as one teacher puts it, you get kind of moved over to the fast lane. So that's one of the reasons why we are, in many respects, one of the top schools, certainly in the West, for music education, if not the country, and we're certainly one of the best values. So I'm going to ask Anthony if he has any clarifications on any of these things. Where are you, Anthony? Are you still there?
I'm here.
Yay.
I think you covered it all basically, yeah. But if anyone has any further questions that they might think of later on, you can contact the school music email and I could go through that and answer questions from there.
Anthony's really good at answering the questions about student life and things like that. So also, I do want to mention one other thing that has come up a lot at parent meetings especially, is we have many, many different societies on campus. And we have several clubs and societies within the School of Music that helps really amplify the friendly atmosphere. We have, I think we have at least, I know we have a representative, I think, of the Symphonians here. The Symphonians is our all-men society that is Phi Mu Alpha. Who's a Phi Mu Alpha person? Anybody? Nobody. We have Mu Phi Epsilon, which is a national honor society. And we have Sigma Alpha Iota, which is it's a sorority that is also, all three are service organizations and offer opportunities for scholarships and different activities, as well as lots of great fellowship. So I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Barr. See if there's anything else that you want me to cover or.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Dr. Baker and Anthony. Some other questions have come in, and one that I just received was, what do ensemble auditions generally look like? So all of you who are watching today, or most of you, very likely took a placement audition to get into the School of Music. That is one kind of audition that we do here. We have another kind of audition, which is your ensemble placement audition. That is the audition that determines what is called your major performing ensemble. It could be one of the bands, it could be the orchestra. And generally what the auditions for that look like are we upload to our website in the summer, usually about July 15th or so, mid-July, we upload some excerpts to our website that we ask you to prepare. We may also ask you to prepare something in addition to that. It could be 1 to 2 minutes of a solo piece that you're already preparing. And then we hear those generally the week before the semester starts, or in some cases the very first week of the semester. We more than likely will hear those live, although should the need arise to hear those in a virtual environment, we actually have some experience doing that as well. So we have a plan in place either way. But you can look for ensemble placement audition information about mid-July on our website, and don't worry, you will get an email about that when they are ready and up and posted.
Let me just jump there and add into that for the orchestra, for wind players, brass, percussion, woodwinds. You don't have to do a secondary audition. So you just have to do one audition for the wind bands, and that can count as an orchestra audition as well. So you don't have to do another one for us.
Thank you for that clarification, Professor Furumoto. And yes, another question that I often receive is, can I play in more than one ensemble? And of course you can. Most of our students, the vast majority, play in multiple ensembles. We encourage it. It makes you a well-rounded musician. So please come in, audition for our bands, audition for the orchestra, audition for the jazz ensembles, play in a chamber ensemble. The more playing you can do, ultimately the better it will be for your musical preparation. Let's see if we have any other questions coming in, or any of my panelists, if you have anything that you'd like to add, please feel free to chime in. Okay, we've got a little bit of downtime here, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time and play another about 2-minute clip of the Wind Symphony. This particular clip is of a few years ago, a performance of the David Misaka 7th Symphony. This is the very virtuosic third movement. The third movement in whole is about 10 minutes long. We're just going to hear about 2 minutes of that right now. And in the meantime, if you have some other questions while we're listening, please send them our way. So here we are. This is David Misaka's 7th Symphony, the third movement. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that clip. And as we were listening to that, it looks like some other questions came in. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues. Dr. Powers, would you go ahead and take it away?
Sure. I'm going to have a couple questions I was going to answer. One person asked about double major between music ed and jazz commercial. And yes, that's absolutely possible. In fact, a number of our students do performance, but then they take the music ed classes so they can also be prepared to teach in public school, to get their credential, et cetera, and go that route if they choose. So it's in some ways a much better education to study performance and to get all that behind you, the classes, the lessons, performing, et cetera. And then in the meantime, take the music ed units classes as well. So that's absolutely possible. I see some of the students here are nodding, yes, because they know students are doing that. And then there was another question about scholarships. Let's see, scholarship, that sort of thing. So if you're participating right now and if you got your acceptance letter after your audition for School of Music and you received our email letter to you probably in February or very early March, if it apologized that we don't have enough money to give music scholarship, then I want to say a few other words. First of all, I really hope that before March 1st, you filed your FAFSA in order to put yourself in line for any kind of federal or state financial aid grants. Those grants tend to be income-based. And what I'm hearing right now from the U.S. Department of Ed, that they have added a lot of extra financial aid. In fact, today I heard that Cal State Fullerton students will have millions of dollars added to the financial aid pot to help the students who are coming, who will be here in fall and spring. A lot of this, of course, has to do with this horrible situation that we're all in right now with COVID-19. So that's a real plus there. And then on campus, there are other scholarships to apply for. That deadline is again, normally March 1st. There's a whole array of various sorts of scholarships. Some are campus-wide, some are college-wide, College of the Arts we belong to, and a few of them are music department. Many of our students work on campus. It pays pretty well, and it's so convenient just to be on campus, be studying and practicing, go off for a few hours and work someplace, and then walk back over to music and continue to study, practice, classes, et cetera, et cetera. So that usually works really well. And let's see, do the students here want to add anything about advice for on the concerning finances or financial aid or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm an out-of-state student, so I have to pay a little bit extra. But coming into the School of Music, there are going to be more opportunities to earn scholarships. There are scholarships that you can apply for, and there are also scholarships that are merit-based. So throughout the semester, you'll be evaluated by the faculty, and they'll nominate whoever they see worthy of receiving the award or the scholarship. So definitely, if you're having a hard time your first year, there's gonna be more aid to follow. So yeah.
Terrific, thank you, Anthony. We've had another question come in about double majoring, and I'm gonna go ahead and field this one, and I think there's a very good reason for me to field this one, and that's because I did it. I am an alum of the Cal State Fullerton School of Music, and I did double major in performance and education. And I will say, before I get into the nitty gritty about the details, I will say that I wouldn't have done it any other way. It was a phenomenal choice. It prepared me for the best of everything that I could hope for in my career. It gave me the challenges in the performance arena that the performance majors face. And it also prepared me to go be a public educator in the public school system, which provides a level of job security. The question specifically was, does that add a little bit of time to your degree? And that's hard to answer. It depends on how many units you are able to manage in a given semester. Certainly, you would be taking more than what would be considered normal in order to progress through that in a 4-year time frame. I will say that the majority of students who do opt for that path are probably looking at it at least an additional year. However, given all the advantages that it provides, I think that additional year is well worth it. I will also clarify that when you do a double major in the School of Music, you won't actually get 2 separate degrees. It is 1 degree, but it will satisfy the requirements of both. So you will more than likely be awarded, if you do choose to double major, you would get a performance degree, but the transcript would certify you to go on and continue into the credential program. That's the most common version of double majoring that we have, performance degrees with the music ed. So I hope that answers your question about that. I will also speak a little bit to my experience as an alum of the program. I myself was a first-generation college student from a very low economic background. My father was in construction and was often in and out of work, so college for me was an unknown. Neither of my parents knew anything about it. It was the question of affordability was always on our mind. Now, granted, I know that that the cost of tuition has climbed since I was a student at Cal State Fullerton, but I will still say of all the 4-year universities across the nation, you would be hard-pressed to find another state system that is as affordable. Now, at the same time that I say that, I don't want to dismiss any worries that you have about financial aid. So hopefully you have applied for your FAFSA. That's always a hard acronym to say for me, for some reason. But hopefully you did apply for the state and federal aid. And if you have any questions about that, you can send an email to any one of us and we'll get you in contact with the people who can help. But going back to my experiences as an alum here, I felt that the Cal State Fullerton School of Music prepared me exceptionally well for a career in music. I would not be where I am today as a member of this faculty were it not for the quality of the education that I received. I went on immediately following a master's degree that I did here. I immediately went on to a career in the California Community College system. And after that, decided to go pursue a doctorate at the University of Michigan, where at that prestigious institution, I felt very prepared for my doctoral studies. In fact, in some cases, I think that I was more prepared than some of my peers in the program from other very prestigious universities across the country. So you will get a phenomenal education here in your instruments. You will get a phenomenal education here in theory, in musicology, in music education if you are pursuing that route. Whatever you choose to study, this place can unlock doors for you as it did for me. So. At this time, I don't see, I think we got another new question. Let's see. So this new question that just came in, are any of my colleagues able to answer that? Dr. Powers.
If your enrollment deposit fee was waived, yeah, there's some very good financial news just for you. I couldn't tell you what that is exactly, but normally it means you had financial aid, and so they didn't need your deposit. And let me add that on last Friday, the Office of Financial Aid began notifying all of the students exactly what the financial aid package would be for next year. It takes them a number of days to do that, so if you haven't heard yet, just wait and you'll hear something. But they just started that, okay?
Terrific, thank you, Dr. Powers. And we do have another session here in the School of Music that some of our faculty need to get to, so we do need to wrap it up here today, but that by no means does that end any of your questions. Should you have any other inquiries that you have, please go online to the School of Music webpage, find one of our email addresses, and shoot us your question. If we're the right person to answer it, great. If not, we will forward it to the colleague who is best situated to answer. But we do hope that this has helped clarify some of the things about attending Cal State Fullerton as a music major. And we are certainly glad that you decided to join us today. So thank you to my colleagues for joining. Thank you to the students who joined us today. And thank you to you for attending our session. We hope to see you in the hallways come the fall. Thank you.